AfterBuzzers and Siesta Key fans, we are back for another amazing and feisty and fiery after show with everything we love of Siesta Key. This is episode 14, Kelsey's Reality Bites. Stick around.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
This song gets me every time. It makes me so happy. What? Okay. Well, guys, we are so excited to be back. As always, this episode was epic. There was so much that happened, so much that went down, and we can't wait to talk about it. And actually, we do have a special guest that should be joining us tonight. We're trying to get him on the line, and we will hopefully be able to connect with him before the end of our after show. And that is Carson Wall, one of our favorites. He's the sweetest, most genuine guy that we see on the show, and we're really excited to have him in the studio. Hopefully, if he can get on Skype. But before we get into it, I'm your host, Ally Nasta. Please find me on Twitter at Ally Nasta and on Instagram at Ally Girl. And Kiki Boom Boom, where can they find you?
Hey guys, I'm Nakia Monet, and I'm currently trying to get adopted by Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott. You can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom.
Hi guys, I'm Drew Jones, and I've already been adopted by Jay-Z and Beyonce, so can't relate. But you can follow me on all the things at OKDrewJ.
And I'm Tessa Cevaal. You guys can find me on all social media at Tessa_Cevaal.
Well, guys, like I said, we're really hoping that we can get our connection with Carson going. We're having some Skype difficulties, but as soon as we can get him, we will bring him on to chat about everything. Oh my gosh, he's our favorite. We can't wait. But guys, all right, Kelsey's reality really does bite.
Yikes.
So maybe we just start off with like Madison and Kelsey's trek to New York. Oh my gosh. Okay. Obviously, the rejection was real, and I think that's what's kind of it's cool about this show is that you are seeing a lot of the reality. Like we saw Alex get rejected from law school and had to get into another one. It wasn't his first choice. And then we see Kelsey with this whole modeling career, and she actually did have to go through a lot of rejection, and we didn't even see if she's actually going to get this modeling agency, the last one that she went to. But, I mean, what were your overall thoughts with Kelsey's kind of, you know, it was a slap in the face almost.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I think we all can attest to it being in the entertainment industry. Rejection is kind of just like, it comes with the territory. Like,
yeah.
You have to have tough skin. I've literally heard some of the most ridiculous critiques about myself. Like, about, oh, this isn't right. Like, someone told me, like, my eyes were too big. And I was like, seriously? But, like, that's just, it comes with, you know, what you're trying to do, so you have to have tough skin for it. And if you can't have tough skin, then maybe be an accountant or something.
I think the hard part is that I can't imagine, like, she obviously went through this process and everything, like, it was fine the first time she did it. You know what I mean? So I think that's got to be hard to have gotten all of the high-end modeling jobs that you could have ever wanted, and then all of a sudden, you go back to try to fight this same dream that you kind of already had once and it was tangible. And then when someone tells you, sorry, what you were doing before can never happen again, that's got to be a weird form of rejection.
It was weird. Even when they, like, first I love when I see shows take it to New York, but it was even weird when they were like, you know, you have it tougher than someone who's just new coming in.
Right.
And I'm like, really? Because she has a whole portfolio. This girl's gorgeous. She's beautiful. And I was talking to you guys outside about this. I'm like, it's just so weird because now in 2018, we're seeing the different type of models. We're seeing the tall girls, the short girls, the plus size models. So I was a little taken aback, like the way they were speaking to her. But in a moment like this, it is a little humbling for her.
Right.
And it's a learning experience. So now she can go back and be like, you know what? I'm now prepared. And it kind of, I think it built her confidence. But at first I felt bad.
I know.
I was like, come on, guys.
Yeah. And, like, the whole, like, editorial and commercial thing, I have a lot of friends who are models out here. Shout out to you guys. And a lot of them, commercial, like, makes good money. Like, commercial's not
lit.
commercial, if anything, makes better money. So, like, that's nothing to, like, you know, judge on. It's a good field. Editorial, I think, is kind of limiting. Like,
and I feel like even when you do commercial, it can probably take you to the next step of maybe getting you into the doors of the editorial.
I agree.
You know.
Did you guys think she looked that different in her picture?
No,
I didn't at all.
Because
so
they kept
confused.
emphasizing that, and I was like, she looked the exact same to me. They're like,
Yeah.
these are so old, these are so dated, you don't look this way. And
I'm like, I thought she looked the same.
I think the only thing I noticed was, like, I think her face was a little bit more chiseled when she was younger, but when you, like, she's what, 20, we found out?
Right.
When you're, like, 18 to, like, 23 for women, like, you're different things are filling out, and, like, you just don't have the same. I can't even look at pictures of me when I was, like, 18, because I'm like, you just do, like, I can't, you will never look like that again.
Woman, but I was just like, okay, her pictures are from a year ago.
Right.
She still has the same blonde hair. She's still beautiful. It's not much of a change. And they looked at her like, oh, you just can't do this, right?
Yeah.
I was like, you guys, you can be a little bit nicer. But I guess in that industry, they're like, I think in all of our industries, you do have to have the tough skin.
Right. And you just have to realize that sometimes you're rejected to get the better opportunity. Yeah. I think one of the best pieces of advice someone gave me one time was that there really is no rejection. All of the negatives turn into a positive, because there's a reason you didn't get certain things, is because that was supposed to lead you to the next thing and the next job and the next opportunity. So if you start looking at all the negatives and all the pieces of rejection as a form of positivity, it really does flip your mind to thinking in a different route. And I just love, we love Deb. Everybody loves Deb. And I loved how she was like, honey, I don't know if you're ready for this, if you're getting upset just after 2 people had told you that it wasn't going to work.
Love her mom.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Alrighty. Awesome. Carson, do we have you on the line?
We do.
Carson! Oh my gosh. We are so excited. We can't, I don't know if we can see you. Do we have video?
I'm trying to figure that out, but
for
some reason it's not working out.
That's okay. We can chat with you because we're just as excited. We're going to call him back. All right, sorry about that. All right, we'll get him back on the line in 5 seconds, guys.
We'll have the same reaction. Yes. We love Carson.
We love Carson. He's our favorite. But let's just finish up on Kelsey really quick. And I really, really do want to talk about when she was trying on the clothes for the designer.
Oh my God.
I was so uncomfortable.
First of all, when the scene was happening, I was like, okay, maybe, the girl seems a little bit more open. They will probably give her the okay. But it just, I'm like, they are not... I don't know.
They literally said she thinks she's high fashion and laughed.
Here's my thing, because yes, I was mad rude, and if that was me, I would have been like, listen, you don't need
it was
these
just
hands.
like, what fashion house did you guys work in to tell me that I'm not an editorial model?
But maybe this was the editing, I don't know. But when they're like, show me editorial, twirling is not like. Was there anything Kelsey was giving that was like super editorial? And again, it could have easily been editing to look more like she wasn't doing anything. But from what we saw, I was like, this is Target at best.
She thinks she's editorial. I'm like, all right, come on.
Yeah, that was a little too much.
That was like rude.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not how we gonna talk to people.
I'm almost hoping that was a scripted moment.
I pray that was.
To make it, because I just feel like it just came off really
Yeah, I think that was scripted.
Yeah. I'm hoping we can get Carson on soon. I think we're figuring that out. But let's jump over to Madison and that whole situation. Obviously, Brandon is a story in itself, so I feel like we're going to have to separate him for now just to focus on Madison, because obviously she goes and she's talking to this, when she's talking to the engineer recruiter. And it was such a surreal moment, because we all had talked about this before. We've all been there after college. You're trying to find a job, and people constantly tell you didn't do enough. You weren't there enough. It's like, well, no one told you that you shouldn't be doing the study abroad programs, that you should be focusing on these internships. And sometimes you think you just need the degree, and that's not necessary. Like, you need more than a degree to get anything these days. And it just sucks, because some of us don't have sometimes you don't have parents that went to college to know what classes to push you to go to, what internships to do. And it's just a lot.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have the resources. And I hate when they're like, you don't have the experience. Well, I'm here to get the experience.
Right.
How am I supposed to get the experience if you guys aren't giving me a chance? And I just graduated from college.
Right.
So I'm not 5 years in or 10 years in with a long resume.
Exactly.
I need the help.
Well, and that's the worst thing, is most of the time when you're trying to get an internship or you're trying to get a job, they're like, well, you need experience. It's you almost think, why would I need experience to get an internship? That's why I'm getting the internship.
Like Houseway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So craziness. But yeah, I think she's gonna get a job. She'll be fine eventually. We'll get him. Oh, sorry guys. We've got to see if we can get Carson to call in again on the line. But while we're doing that, Madison meets this model guy in the club. Everything's going down.
Who was mad cute.
He was really cute.
Listen, this is what made me so angry, because I think Madison had a better opportunity than Brandon did to get away with something, because it was just Kelsey. Kelsey's your homegirl. You know she's not going to say anything. There are no other eyes for her to do something. And she still shut that down so quickly.
Good girlfriend. Madison's a good girl.
Meanwhile, Brandon's in front of all of his friends. What, whatever.
Madison's sister.
Madison's sister.
Oh,
That's not Carson.
That is not.
We see our engineer on the line right
Yes.
now.
We
This is
looked up for 2 seconds. We're like, and I'm like, what is Carson?
Back. I've been waiting for this.
All right.
Hey, Carson.
Carson.
Steve in the booth here. You're probably just seeing me in the booth. Can you press the video button just to the right of the red call button, please?
Yeah.
It'll be down at the
it's
bottom
not
of the
there.
screen there. This is the only way I'll be able to talk to you on the air. Sorry about that.
Anthony.
Oh my gosh.
So we're just looking at our engineers.
Yeah, this is fun.
Oh man, this sucks. I've been trying to get this set up, but I don't see that button. It's weird.
Oh no. Okay.
It should be just down to the right of the red call button at the bottom of the screen.
I know. I see the red call button, but
Yeah.
there's
There's
no
no
like.
video.
It's just a dial pad button, and then add
I got
people.
you.
I don't know. It's not there. It usually is. I know what you're talking about. I don't know why
Yeah.
it's not there.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, that's okay.
We'll
We have
still
you.
take it as a phone call. Thank you for joining us tonight. You're on the
Yeah.
air.
Thank you so much, Carson. Again, the third time's a charm, right?
Right.
I'm thinking so. I'm kind of bummed out that it's not like exactly what we were going for.
Yeah.
But we're gonna make it work.
Yeah, we definitely will make it work. And we, again, thank you so much for your patience and getting on the line with us. We do have some fun questions, but first of all, we need to say you're one of our favorite people on the show.
Team
Yes.
Carson.
Team Carson all day.
Like,
You guys.
No, you are, okay, from what it comes across on screen, maybe you're not that much of a good guy, you know? They're just showing the good sides of you. I'm kidding. But,
You never know. You never know.
but you seem so genuine, and I think one of my favorite parts of this episode was in you kind of shut Brandon down when he was talking about Canvas, and you said, dude, she's a troublemaker. You know, you've got a good girl. I wish I could have a good girl like that.
I did. I threw that in his face. I definitely did. I wanted to make sure he got the message.
And you definitely, I think, it came across, but not too much because he clearly didn't listen to you. But
Well, you know, as his friend, I gotta like throw out some pointers, but at the same time, I still gotta be there to support him. So it's a slippery slope with where I'm at there. But
that's so
I
true.
still like to say it though, just to say I said it.
Well, that's what makes you a good guy, is because most guys are like, oh, yeah, dude, sure, whatever you want, I feel. And then you were like, no, actually, you have a good girl. Stick around with her. But that's awesome. Well, anyways, before we get into the whole Canvas and everything and all the girl drama that's going on in the show, we want to ask you some questions on how you got involved and kind of how this process was like. And, yeah, like, so how did you audition, or did they seek you out?
Well, I mean, in my opinion, it's all about who you know.
Yeah.
So obviously, my good friend Brandon was on there prior to this season. So I think, and I was actually in Miami, so I wasn't really here for all that. And I think I came back and season 1B was coming around, and they saw me on his story a few times, and I guess they were intrigued. So one thing led to another. Multiple Skype interviews and all that good stuff came down the road, and then I guess before you know it, we started filming, and I just kind of got thrown into it all with you know what I've got going on and everything else. So I'm just glad to be a part of it. They didn't have any blonde guys on the show prior, so I could, you know, be that surfer dude that they were looking for.
That's so true. And they only had 2 guys to work with, too. So they were like, okay, we need to throw another guy in here because some of them are getting paired off. Which leads me... Yeah.
Definitely true.
Yeah. And that kind of leads me to my next question. So how long have you and Brandon really been friends?
Well, actually, like way back in the day, we played for the same high school football team. I just didn't. We didn't really know each other at the time. I mean, we knew of each other, and then like a year or 2 later, he got back from New York, and we just started working out together at the Y. And then before you know it, we actually worked on a major movie last year called The First Time Club. And then ever since then, you know, we got a job together, and before you know it, we just kind of like clicked. And I mean, that like he's the homie for life. I mean, it's like I know how he, you know, is with Madison, but that being said, he's definitely like a good friend, and it's hard to find somebody who isn't just looking out for themselves, but also people close to them. So, and he definitely helped me get to where I'm at. I mean, and he actually helped me with modeling. He's the one who got me into modeling. and got me like a word of mouth through my agency. So, I mean, I'm not going to give him all the credit. But, you know, that being said, it's a lot, you know, nothing achieved, no success is achieved by yourself, in my opinion. It's always who you know, how you know them, some way you look up to somebody. And so, I mean, I think one thing led to another, and that's where we got. So Brandon's definitely he's a good dude.
We trust you. We trust that he's a good guy. Obviously, we talk a lot of times on the show. We're like, we only can obviously judge and talk about what we're seeing, but we know there's things behind the scenes and way that things are cut to where someone's pinned to be the bad guy or pinned to make it look worse than it actually is. So we definitely take that into consideration. But I mean, we've loved BG from the beginning of the show when we were watching. So I act like I'm his friend. I'm like, BG, you know, whatever.
Because, you know, he is a genuine dude, you know.
Yeah.
He kind of is. That's why we get along so well, is because we're both, like, you know, very passionate as well. So it works out.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you have had quite the background story too, and you shared that on the show. I think it was the last episode, 2 episodes ago. And I saw that you tweeted, because you wanted to make sure you tweeted, and you said, although they made mistakes, we're all human, and they worked so hard to get me back. I love my mom and dad more than anything in the world. And I wanted to know if you wanted to say anything, because I know that you probably, when you watch something like that, it's kind of like almost, it makes it more real saying it and watching on TV, and I just didn't know if you wanted to say anything.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, first and foremost, you know, my tweet said, I do love them more than anything, and to get thrown into that situation the way it all happened so fast. Prior to all that, I was honestly pretty spoiled. Like, my mom was in real estate and she was doing very well, and then just before you know it, the economy hit, and I remember it kind of went downhill, and a DUI came into play, and it was just very tough at that age when I was so used to kind of, you know, getting fed with silver spoon, and it was a big reality check. But, you know, seeing them have to jump through every hoop to get me back as fast as they did, a little over a year, that was huge, and it said a lot to me. And, you know, at the time I was like, oh, woe is me, you know, like, I'm just going to take the pity card and just be the victim. I was young, so I didn't really know how to handle it, but then something hit me, and I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm slacking in school. I'm, you know, behind. I really want to graduate with my class. I was like, it's all or nothing. I just got to use this to push me. And I'm really glad that I went through that. I am, because I really don't think I'd be the way I am today if I didn't have that long period of time by myself with people I didn't know. And it's just, you know, I like I said, mistakes are definitely made. I do think they learn from them. And if they could take it back, obviously they would. And it's just, you know, it's really annoying when people say that it's scripted or it's fake, and, you know, I can't really listen to all the outside noise. I just have to learn to expect that to come with it. But I'm just glad I was able to share my story and put a light on the fact that, you know, just because you're going through some adversity or obstacles doesn't mean that should slow you down. If anything, it should just push you harder to reach that goal. And I just wanted to inspire people, honestly.
We're all seriously like tugging at our heartstrings right now. I mean, I just think it's so powerful the way that you spoke, and you're so well spoken and well said and everything. And I just wanted to make sure that you felt like you were getting the word across, and it came across brilliantly. And you're so strong. Seriously, we all were like getting teary-eyed when we were watching that episode. And I think it definitely takes a very strong individual to be able to say that on national television, you know?
You guys are giving me goosebumps. I love it. Thank you so much.
You're giving us goosebumps. We have like tears in our eyes over here. I wish that we could see each other.
This seriously means so much. I know. I'm so sorry.
No. You don't need to apologize.
Don't worry.
No apologies at all. Moving on. Sorry, guys. You guys want to? I'm like going through all these questions we got. But we also, going back to the date before you guys were able to kind of share something about yourselves, you and Kelsey, we wanted to know how much truth is there behind the connection you guys had? Like, was it someone that you sought out, or was the show kind of like, hey, you guys are both single, you should go on a date and see what it's like?
All right, well, I'm just going to put it this way. I am a huge blonde guy. I love blonde. I mean, that's like probably not really much of a surprise, but I really do like blonde hair, blue eyes. I mean, like, I don't have like
Wow.
if I had a type, that would be the one.
Right.
But I think on the top of, you know, like she models, I model, I thought that was pretty cool because, like, that's a different kind of field to play with, and most people don't really know how it works. So
Right.
I think just between that, like, I know how hard it is, especially for a girl to have to try and model and stay in shape. And, you know, as much pizza as she eats, I'll tell you what, like, she's doing a really good job. But, and in all seriousness, I actually really like Kelsey a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's definitely one of, like, if not my favorite, one of my favorites. Just because she is so just down to earth, wants to have a good time, but she keeps it real with everybody, and she's not, like, you know, fake and doesn't let things get to her head. And that's kind of hard to, like, maintain, you know, once you reach a certain level. And we just click, you know, like, our chemistry's there. We have a good time every time we're around each other. So I definitely went for that.
Yeah.
I definitely did.
Well, we were saying how you guys had so much, out of all the things that we've seen, all the dates that we've seen go down, you guys seemed like you had the most genuine connection, and the conversation flew and, or flowed. And it just seems really natural, because sometimes a lot of the way that it's cut, you just hear a lot of yas and whats. And so I think this was the most conversation we've seen between a couple before. Mm-hmm. So that was really fun to see.
Totally. I didn't want to do a, you know, steak dinner and
Right.
be all cliche. Like, I just wanted to take her out, let her, like, see what it's like skimboarding, have some fun, get her favorite pizza, and then just, like, go from there. That's what I thought. I thought that was the move.
We're all like-
we all were saying how that was the best date.
Literally. Carson, I just want
Thank
to
you.
say...
I'm doing something right.
You are.
You are.
I mean, you brought pizza to a first date. Let's
That's
just say that's
best
like
date ever.
5-star.
Yeah, you know, I had to set that up. I had to make a few phone calls, pull some strings, but it worked out.
Carson, I was just going to
It really
say
did.
there's 4 girls here, but there are 2 girls on the panel, blonde and blue eyes. I'm just saying.
Wow. Well, if only my video worked.
I know.
You're missing out. We got
Our-
2 beautiful
Oh,
blondes.
man.
Blue
Oh,
eyes.
no.
I'm just saying.
I'd have.
And if we were in Siesta Keys, I feel like I'd try to hook this up. But
Yeah.
it's a different time, a different place.
Oh, my
That's
God.
a wing woman right there. I feel like I'd have hard eyes.
Well, we got Kia here, and she actually is a huge crush on Alex, so you should
No.
put in a good word.
Hey, I can totally do that for you guys. Don't worry. I got you.
It's so funny. We were talking about how he has so much, like, for some reason, he just woos these girls and can get them. It's almost like this Alex trance that these girls fall into. And Kia was like, I've fallen into it. I can see how these girls fall in love with him. And so she's totally team Alex, loves him.
Yes. And Team Carson, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Duh.
We're all team
Duh.
Carson. All of us.
Hello.
And I have to ask you this only because I saw your Valentine tweet, and I saw a bunch of girls tweeting back at you saying, I'll be your Valentine. So if you want to share with these girls, you know, what are you looking for? I'm sure they would love to know.
Well, honestly, I'm looking for somebody who's coming around for the right reason.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I've got, like, you know, some buzz just with everything going on.
Right.
And I think off the fact of just seeing me on this big screen, that's like their first go-to reason as to why, which, you know, you can't blame anybody. That's I'm like, that comes with it. But I think I'm trying to find a, you know, for me, it's a girl with, like, you know, beautiful eyes, a great smile, and an even bigger heart. And for some reason, that's just kind of hard to find here in Siesta Key. So,
You know where that's not hard to find? Los Angeles, California, in the AFTERBUZZ TV studio.
Okay, no.
Studio 4, we got a good one.
No, okay. Yeah, no, that's hilarious. Not really. But yeah, that's awesome. I'm sure, I just find it funny. We've been, like, obviously doing our research and seeing all these tweets and everything, and obviously you have been the new guy on the show, so everybody's probably like, oh, like, Carson, who are you, whatever. So I wanted to, you know, share it with the fans, see what you're looking for.
totally.
But yeah, so we also just want to ask you, you know, you said you worked on a movie and you're obviously working on Siesta Key and you're doing some modeling, but are you working on any other jobs that you want to talk about, anything you kind of want to promote?
Well, that's awesome. I appreciate that. I actually, there is a movie coming up in, like, mid to late April that I'm going to start filming and it's called Freshman Year, and it's basically a brief summary of, you know, like lately a lot of girls have been getting pregnant at a very young age, and there's a lot of STDs and stuff like that going around, and this movie is actually funded through Planned Parenthood.
Oh wow!
And I just wanted to be a part of like such a big movement, trying to share some light on the fact that it's not cool doing Xanax and basically, you know, getting pregnant at a young age and all that.
Right.
So as surprisingly as it sounds, I play the bad guy who gets the girl knocked up.
Carson.
And so that's a little sneak peek I'm gonna give. I can't give too much more,
Right.
but I am gonna be working on that. Brandon's also gonna be involved with it, so
Nice.
that'll be movie number 2.
That's so exciting. You'll have to let us know, and we can, if you're ever in LA, bring you in the studio. We can chat about that too.
Oh, I am, no doubt, without a question. I'm definitely gonna let you guys know when I get more details on it. As of right now, it started out as a play. So we performed this play in a few big high schools around the area, and that was actually got a lot of good feedback from that, which is what resulted in us putting it into a movie. So that's going to be cool. We're going to get it on Netflix and all that. So I'm really excited for that. Other than that, though, I mean, I'm modeling. I'm trying to get that going.
Yeah.
Use the show as a platform to kind of help get exposure.
Right.
So. And I mean, acting and entertaining has always been something that I've been into. So I'm just kind of trying to, you know, take it one day at a time. And I don't really want to jump the gun and, you know, just go like move to somewhere and make a drastic change before, you know, I have like a for sure direction to head in, basically.
Yeah, that's awesome. I am so excited for you. That sounds so like there's so many good things coming your way, and you deserve it. I mean, we don't really know you, but from what it sounds, you have all this. You should be so proud. We're so excited for you.
Yeah, quick question, because I'm looking at your Twitter right now, and I've noticed before you have tweeted at the Floribama Shore cast, and they've tweeted at you guys, and you all are in Florida. Have you guys hung out at all?
We haven't, but, you know, speaking of it, Nilsa and Amy are actually coming to Tampa, which is an hour from Siesta Key.
Yeah.
And so I did make a promise that we would show up in Tampa and everybody would meet. And I don't know if the whole cast is coming, like, from my side or their side, but I do know that Brandon, Tarek, me, Kelsey, we all said we would for sure like make an effort to go meet them, and I think it'd be great, you know, just for everyone to kind of like collab. I think that'd be really cool. So, and that's without cameras involved, and it's just nice to kind of do that and to see who everyone is outside of a TV show, you know.
Right.
For sure. And I know Gasparilla was last week or 2 weeks ago. Did you guys go? Last week. Oh,
I went. BG went. He performed, and I don't know. You probably didn't see the footage, but during his performance, we actually did like a little backflip type of little added thing into his performance. So he like launched me, and I did a backflip. I was holding my breath the whole time, and somehow, by the grace of God, I landed on 2 of my feet. So it was a good turnout. It was so much fun. It was my first Gasparilla. And I probably won't go next year because there was way too much partying.
I'm
still
from
recovering.
Tampa. It's a lot. Did the cameras follow you guys down there? Because that's definitely an event I would be interested to see filmed with you guys.
Oh man, they didn't. We're not filming right now. Actually, we are completely all wrapped up there. So we're just enjoying some time off before we start filming again.
Very nice.
Amazing.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, guys, do we have any other questions for Carson before we let him
I do.
go?
Carson, looking back.
Keep them coming.
Looking back, do you have any regrets about anything, or is there anything that you would change about the show?
So regrets in regards to the show. Honestly, I would, if I had to be completely flat out honest, I'd say I was a little too conservative. Coming in, I didn't really want to like step over, you know, maybe my place, or I didn't really know my place in you know, as far as I guess, my role or what I was supposed to be doing in the show. I didn't want to come in and try and like camera hog, you know what I mean? Because that's really easy to do, and I'm not that guy. But I also didn't want to like be quiet and not be myself. So it was kind of hard to like maybe, I guess, find a balance for the first few times we were filming, just to kind of get a feel for everything. I mean, granted, when you model, you're behind a camera, but it's just different with the whole production team and directors and everything behind it. So I just wanted to kind of play my part and do basically what I thought I would do. But the only regret I have is basically to just kind of be more like out there and not be so afraid to maybe like speak my mind, if that makes sense.
Well, we love you, so we feel like you were doing everything right.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely like play. I'm basically just myself, is the best way I can put it. And I think, you know, the next go around, I'll kind of maybe spice it up a little bit, just to add a little something there, a little, you know, a little spice has never hurt anybody. So I think I was just too nice almost at times. You know, there's times where I wanted to say something and I didn't, just because I didn't want to be on anyone's bad side. But at the same time, like, you gotta, like, if you really feel strong about something, you gotta speak your mind. That's the only thing I learned from it all.
Is there anybody that you think was painted like in a wrong light on the show, or is there anyone who like is completely different on the show than they are in real life?
I think that everyone, to a degree, kind of gets put in, you know, certain situations that they wouldn't normally find themselves in, or even like get to that point of. Granted, I think, you know, Kelsey is a really good girl, and she's not the type to go bounce around. I want everyone to know that first and foremost. She is, she plays hard to get. So I'm gonna firsthand, I know that. So she's not like, you know, what maybe a lot of fans or people might think of her. Right. I do think, you know, Madison is definitely not as perfect as everyone seems to think. She's got a wild side to her. That's all I'm gonna say. Because every good girl that seems so perfect, come on, like, let's be real.
That's very true.
This is very true.
Like, really think about it, you know. But I think other than that, you know, Brandon definitely he likes to have fun. That was his first relationship, so he definitely made some mistakes.
True.
And I think he's gonna have to learn from them. I told him from the start. I told him what it was. Told him how it went. But, you know, you got to listen to your heart at the same time.
We're all like, "Aww,
Carson."
Yes, Carson.
I've been through too many relationships to know the right and wrong way to do things. I'll put it that way.
No, and that's a good point that you brought up. I think because we get so involved in the show that you forget this. He did say, "This is my first girlfriend. I'd never been in a relationship. First time he said I love you to somebody." And it kind of was a whirlwind, so.
Yeah.
Especially going through, you know, just like the fame and just kind of just going through it all at the same time is really hard to, like, and focus on his music and her with her engineering. Like, people don't really think about it in the big picture, but it really is hard to kind of manage everything, especially for his first time. You know, granted, I'm not going to make excuses for him. He definitely made some mistakes, but I do think that it's just the timing was definitely probably overwhelming for him, you know, like
100%. Yeah.
And you guys are doing it in front of the cameras, so it makes it a little, it's like the world is watching you guys kind of grow up and learn and make your mistakes. So I know it makes it a little bit harder as well. I know people are very quick to judge, but I think it's really easy to forget that it is a TV show, and you know, there's only so much that you can really do in certain moments.
Right, and I mean,
and then after that, you got to roll with it.
Right, I mean, if all of us were recorded,
I mean, Jesus,
like, whoa, wait, that would be bad.
So we know MTV obviously is like one of the big front runners for reality TV shows. So they have a lot of really intense fans. What has that been like interacting with Siesta Key fans, like on Twitter and Instagram? Have you gotten any crazy DMs or tweets?
Oh man, where to start? I've definitely gotten a lot of like some very random ones that I don't even know what to say anything to. Like I got one. I guess the first one I could think of is they're like, I've seen this so many times. If you're ever in New York, you know, let me know. Or if you're ever like, it's just funny because I know me, if I ever go into a DM or message a girl first, like, I'm more smooth about it. I'm not gonna just out of nowhere like, yo, next time you're over here in Siesta Key, I'll show you how we do things. Like, that's not what I don't know.
That is true.
It's kind of,
that's very abrupt.
I'm not gonna respond to someone who's in Toronto, Canada, that I'll probably never see. You know, it's really hard though. It's really hard to like balance who you respond to and who you don't. And I try to be fair to everybody, but it's just like they just keep coming. And I mean, and I love it though, because without fans, there'd be no show.
Right.
So, and you got to keep that in mind. And I like to try and keep things humble too. So, you know, I like to say, you know, I'm nothing special. I'm just like you. I'm just a person, but at the same time, they see it in a different light, and I gotta also get used to that as well.
Yeah, our engineer just pulled up a picture of one of your modeling pictures of you with no shirt on.
We're swooning.
Oh boy!
It's gonna be on the
Many
video.
of those.
Yeah, that's gotta be such a crazy thing. Like one day it's normal, and then all of a sudden everything just starts swarming. Especially.
Oh yeah.
The DMs.
I mean, I'm waiting, you know, to kind of, I guess, get more recognition. I know that it kind of comes. It doesn't happen overnight, and I'm like typically not very patient, but I've tried to just kind of let it all, like, just trust the process and let it happen. I mean, granted, I came in late, so I like really didn't know what to expect as far as airtime and storyline and this and that, and that's kind of the other thing, like I really don't have any regrets. I just didn't really know exactly how to expect how everything would go down. And even though you film one thing, it could be completely angled a different way. So I try to be like really mindful of everything.
Right.
So true.
Now, I remember there was kind of a controversy when the show first came out. And obviously, you weren't attached to the project yet, but Brandon was. Did he ever talk to you about, like, the backlash that the show received? Because come to find out, no one on the show was actually involved in what was going on, but it was like, kind of like, I don't know, like a
between the whole, you know, I guess shark thing and all that.
Yeah. Have you received any backlash from that, or has Brandon?
He definitely has. I didn't, just because I wasn't a part of it at the time.
Right.
But I'll tell you, like, now I'll somehow still get comments about, like, oh, you guys are animal abusers, and he fed his dog to sharks, and it's just like, yo, I don't know what kind of people you think I am, but you're not even just me, but like all of us, like we really are good people. We're not we're not over here killing our dogs, throwing it to like that. That's just so extreme, you know. And I think that it was blown out to be something way worse than it really was.
Right.
And he really didn't have anything to do with it. So it's just people are just so quick to kind of throw any shade that they can at something that either they want to be a part of and they can't be, or I really don't know. The day I find out why people hate is the day that I'll be $1 million richer.
Oh,
I swear.
I like that.
I love that. Yeah, let's just spread the love.
And we love you.
It's good though, because without hate, like it basically just brings attention, whether it's good or bad. So I mean, it's good publicity regardless, in my opinion.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Because it's buzzing, you know. If people are talking about it, you're doing something right.
That's true.
Facts.
That's how I look at it. And fortunately, most of the time, it's not negative when it comes to me. So I'm trying to stay in that lane.
Stay in that positive light.
That's good.
Well, we love it, Carson.
Yeah.
We love you.
Thank you so much. I'm not really like the main dude in it, so I'm definitely extremely appreciative of all the love that I've been getting, and especially, you know, from you guys. It's amazing. And I can't thank you enough for even having me.
Yeah,
I just wanted to say that.
Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. Yeah. And of course, I mean, we'll have you back anytime you want to chat about the show. Next time, you can even just join us as the recap, and we'll get you actually on the camera this time. But
yes, I will definitely make sure my camera works next time.
Yeah. Well, thank you No, it was. I don't even know if it was you. It's technology. You know, sometimes it just decides not to work. You know.
Anything to do with technology with me, I swear it'll just bring up the loading buffer sign. every time.
No, but thank you again so much. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on social media?
Awesome. So you can find me on Instagram, Carson Wall _, Twitter, Carson Wall 3. Facebook is Carson Wall. I'm just repping Carson Wall till the day I die. And that's basically where you can find me. And I model with MC Squared in Miami.
Hey.
And that's basically what we got going.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much. We're going to have you back before the season's over.
yes.
This was too much fun and time just flew. But
Please do. Please do.
Okay. All right. We will. Thanks so much. Have a great night. And also, wait, I need to say thank you so much for staying up. Guys,
Yes.
we are on the West Coast. He's on the East Coast. So he's staying up. It's like 1 in the morning over there.
For
So
real.
thank you so much for being a part of this today.
No, you guys were so worth it. I appreciate
Aw,
everything.
thank you. Thanks. Have a great night and get
Thanks,
some sleep.
Carson.
You too.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. What a great
Oh my
guy.
gosh. Seriously, that was
Wow.
amazing.
I'll just say this, like, we already loved Carson, but
Right.
now we like love Carson.
Then we were like team, he's repping Carson Wall to the day he
Like,
dies. So is our show.
We're repping
About
Carson.
So
to
is our
dye
show.
my hair blonde, get some blue contacts.
Taking my braids out. I'm like, sorry, Alex. I'm crossing over.
Next time you see it, me and Kiki Boom Boom are gonna be beach bunnies.
Me and Drew are going blonde. We're getting blue eyes just because Carson
Yes.
said so.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, Alex. I'm leaving your team.
Team
And
Carson.
it's just
all
Carson.
day.
Carson Wall. Facts.
I would actually die if we had blonde hair.
Next
Should
show.
bring my blonde wig on.
Yeah,
We
so
all
good.
just
Same. I do
Drew
have a blonde wig.
always has great hair. No matter what color she rocks, she's just, I mean, she's just gorgeous. So.
I'm gonna get it blonde now for you, Carson.
Oh my gosh, that's
I'm
amazing.
bad with contacts, but I'll work it out.
I think also, I mean, Carson's just an all-around great guy, and I
Yeah.
loved the way he did talk about Brandon, and obviously we all made mistakes, and let's not, I mean, there's no excuse for what he did, obviously, for
Right.
what we think we know,
Yeah.
but there's no excuses in that, but at the same time, we did not realize or forgot he's only been in one relationship, so he doesn't
Totally
really know how to
forgot about
act, I mean, I think about when you get out of college or whatever, or your career's just starting, and you have all these things, and you have a relationship and you have to juggle all these things, it not everybody's good with that,
Yeah.
you know? But I mean, like I said, there's no excuses for what he
Yeah.
did.
Right.
But when you try to start thinking about each side and you know,
Yeah.
weigh out everybody's flaws, sometimes, I mean, things
Yeah.
happen. It's life. People make mistakes.
Yeah, some people learn from their mistakes, and some people are great at relationships. And he's going off of what he's known his whole life, and that's
Right.
chilling with chicks and kind
Right.
of being the player because he's been single. So this is like his first for relationships. But of course, we don't excuse what we think we saw.
Right.
Yeah.
But, you know, like Carson said, and I love Carson because Carson always has his friends back. And
Right.
I think that's super dope. But and
Right.
of course, Brandon's learning. They're all, and it sucks because they're doing it in front of the camera.
Right.
So, you know, they're still young.
Yeah.
And they're still growing and they're still learning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will say, as you get older, I feel like relationship dynamics change a
Yeah.
little bit. Like
Oh,
things
yeah.
that were acceptable when you're in high school aren't necessarily acceptable when you're out of high school. And so, like, not giving him, like, the let go, but, like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, let's be real. I did write oy vey.
Oy
You
vey.
did in my notes. I was like, oy vey,
Oy
typical
vey.
guy, not knowing a good
Brandon.
thing when he's got it.
But
But
here's the other thing that really bothers me, like Canvas Girl. Like I want to root for you so bad, especially hearing your backstory. But like, there's just even if you're not cool with a girl, I just feel like there's this cosmic girl code
Right.
that when a boy is someone else's man, you don't mess with him because not only is that messed up, but you don't want someone doing that to you if you get that dude. What makes you think
Right.
that he's not going to turn around and do that with someone else?
Right.
Like there's
Yeah.
karma, there's a code, like
My-
there's levels to this.
and I just want to like backing off of what Drew's saying. The reason that you're saying that is because she specifically said to Brandon, "If I was your girlfriend,
Yeah.
I would be there," and that was just a low blow.
That
and
blew my mind. Like my grandmother used to always say, "The way you get a man is the way you lose a man, or the way you lose a man is the way you get a man." So if you're
that's
going
good
after a
advice.
man and he's in a relationship already and he's cheating on his girlfriend with you, when he gets with you, he's going to do the same
Right.
thing.
Speak
so
on
the
it.
way you get a man is the way you lose him. Canvas.
And also, I think it's
Sorry.
messed up to
I'm
like.
like canvas.
I think it's very messed up to try to make it look like. Again, Madison isn't perfect, like Carson said, and I'm sure she's not. But I think it's messed up to paint Madison as being this greedy person,
Right.
Because she's going after her career.
Right.
When we've seen Madison be nothing but supportive towards Brandon, and let's be real, like not to down on Brandon because we're all artists here, whatever, but. Musician, like to be, if you just got a degree and you're like an architect, engineer,
Right.
whatever, an engineer, and you're like hanging out with a musician, like I feel like she's being very supportive, because I can only imagine if I brought home like a musician to my parents and was like, hey guys, I just spent, X amount of years in school, but I'm just gonna go ahead and tie myself to this guy who is a musician, hope you like it, like
Yeah, I mean, we need to give Madison some credit.
Yeah.
She's working her butt off too, as well as supporting him.
Yeah.
And it just isn't fair that you kind of have this one negative player in your relationship. And it's also Brandon's curiosity of he hasn't ever had a girlfriend, and then all of a sudden, I mean, it's not like to say he hasn't had girls like throw themselves at him before, but like he is gaining this traction, so it throws in another dynamic into their situation.
Yeah.
I think Canvas, one of the reasons too that we see her kind of not care. It's obviously, from what we're seeing, it doesn't look like she cares about any of the repercussions of anybody else but herself. And I think that kind of has to do with the story she told us tonight. I think that she's always had to be independent, and that's just how she learned to live. I mean, that was she's been through some really hard times. So I can kind of understand where in her mind, it's all about herself, because she's had to be independent for so long.
Self-preservation.
Yeah, so she's just trying to stick up for, herself. And if she wants something, she's going to go after it, because that's just kind of how she's been able to live so far.
Yeah.
So.
I admire her for that part. I just wish that it was someone single.
Right,
But
exactly.
I do give it up to her, because I was like, for a young woman, she knows what she wants.
Right.
And she goes after it. And she's like, but it's that thing. She's been on her own since she was 16 years old, and she had to survive. And we don't know what she had to do as a young girl to survive in these streets. So I give it to her, because she does not, like, the girlfriend in the room has not stopped this girl.
Right.
She's like, I do not care. I'm going for
and that's
what I want.
And that's also the thing that's kind of like, at the end of the day, when you're trying to root for her, like we've been saying, and I mean, I'm trying to bring her story into the why she may be doing this. At the same time, the girlfriend specifically went up to you and said, do not do that. That's where I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to do.
And because I'm not there, you're in front of my friends and my sisters.
And that is so not
there.
okay.
I love that this show, though, paints it so that not everything is black and white. You can't, because I can't 100% be like, oh, I hate Canvas, she's the worst. Or like, oh, Brandon's completely in the wrong. Or, oh, Madison's perfect. Because, you see these backstories and you kind of understand, why people do what they do.
Yeah.
And you're seeing, they're not painting out Canvas to be this, villain completely. You do see this, you see her humanity or whatever, and you're like, okay, that makes sense. Or you, same with Brandon or Madison or whatever. So I'm glad it's not just so black and white. We can agree that so-and-so is bad and so-and-so is not. I'm glad that there's, this,
Right.
I don't know.
But also, wait, sorry.
I was going to say, were you guys shocked that he didn't hook up with Canvas and hooked up with the rando?
That was just too much for me. I was thinking, come on, dude. Seriously?
I am going to give him, I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm going to say that we don't know what happened yet.
That's true.
Very true.
And so
maybe he was drinking too much and the young lady offered him a ride home and he slept on the couch.
I have been to parties and gone home with people and nothing's happened. I literally just passed out on their couch. So it's possible.
Homegirl was on the neck. Kissing.
No, that was another girl.
Oh, it was another girl.
That was another girl.
So
I just was shocked that it wasn't Canvas, and he was like, "Oh, I'll go with home with you."
But you know what I think is interesting? I almost feel like Canvas took a step back and was like, I'm gonna let this play out because then I'm not in the wrong. Because I technically didn't do anything. These girls did, and now when you guys break up, I can slide in and still be guilt free.
Oh, that's
because I
true.
didn't do anything.
That's true.
We peep you, girl. We see.
But also, I do want to say, too, even though we're really trying to give everybody the benefit of the doubt here, but, also, Brandon knew exactly what he was getting himself into by inviting I mean, what's crazy, too, is I keep saying knowing what he's getting himself into when he didn't even go home with Cam or whoever, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even
She was giving him major sex vibes when she was, watching him perform.
I don't know.
Oh,
There's just too many things.
Editing's great.
There's too many things. Polly and Paige.
Polly and Paige. Okay. No, you go ahead.
Paige, girl. You are so beautiful. You're so worth.
Polly and Paige,
so
P&P,
much more.
it's cute.
No.
Do you think there'll be something after this night?
No.
Or it was just
Pray not.
no.
But I thought Polly had a somebody.
Oh, does he?
Remember when he performed and his mic wasn't on, he was with a girl in a car. I thought he had a little boo, but and this girl, she's sometimes with him at certain places. She doesn't speak as much, but they'll subtitle on Chiron her name at the bottom.
Yeah.
But I forgot who she is.
Does he come off as someone who would just have one boo though?
No.
No.
Oh gosh.
None of
I guess
them
we'll
do,
see that
except for
play
Carson.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying, Paige girl, do better.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Man. And honestly, I guess that's what it is. With Brandon and Candace and the whole, now that he has other girls in the scenario, this whole situation is just bound to blow up in his face. And we clearly see that with the previews of next week. Something's been said.
And it's wild that this is so blown up because, like, you barely care that Alex and Juliet became an official couple.
Exactly.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Exactly.
Well, all the drama's brewing. They are cuddled up.
On the couch.
Minding their business on the couch.
Like, just watching TV.
Out of the drama for the first time. Wow, I forgot about that.
Exactly. Like that says so much to
They
me.
totally glossed over it. Also, can we take a note? I wish I would have had a picture of this. When Juliet was at lunch with Hannah, the death stare
My God.
she gave Juliet was literally like, I was like, woo! She literally like, I can't even do it. But she was so
was solid.
furious.
She like sat back and did one of those like like what?
Yeah.
And she already has like piercing blue or grayish eyes.
Yeah.
So when she sat back and gave her the death stare, I'm
It
like,
hurt. I was like, what did I do wrong personally?
I
Right.
was like, Alex must have done
And
something
it was like
really
long.
crazy.
It wasn't just like it was like a ooh, you did something wrong. But yeah, and really quick before we wrap this up, let's not forget Madison was flirting with the guy, but then proceeded to leave the bar to call Brandon, who did not answer her calls.
That's what I was like.
Oh, but wait. The time difference.
The time different. No,
they're on the East Coast.
Because I thought about that too. I was like, the time. And I was like, wait, no. They still are on the same time.
Oh, okay,
Florida,
that
New
changes
York,
things.
same time.
That changes things. You're right. Same time. We don't know what happened. We don't know what's going on.
Because I did the same thing. I'm thinking LA time, and I'm like, wait, no. It's 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Oh, gosh.
Yep.
But, I mean, Madison walked away.
She did. I'm proud of her.
did. And
Tony
he was
was
so
hot.
fine, so
He was
good
fine.
stuff,
So I'm
girl.
very proud of her.
Yeah, man, lots of drama that went down in this episode. There was so much. I kept being like, oh man, oh drama, oh man. But that's what
There's
makes
a lot
this
of
show
drama.
so good.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
and then
good.
next week is even more drama.
Oh.
And more.
yeah.
It's like the drama keeps growing.
I cannot even wait. Halloween with everybody's costumes. It's gonna get spicy, and we cannot wait to talk about it as always. But ladies, it's been a pleasure as always.
Yes.
It was so much fun tonight,
Yes.
and of course having Carson on as always. But why don't we tell everybody where they can find us on social media? Kiki.
You guys can find me on all social media across the board. That's Instagram, that's Twitter, not Snapchat, and Facebook. Kiki Boom Boom.
Drew.
You guys can find me on all the things, including those LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever. Okay, like O and a K, Drew J.
Tessa.
You guys can find me at Tessa_Cevaal.
And hey guys, Ally Nasta here. Find me on Twitter at Ally Nasta and on Instagram at Ally Girl. Again, Carson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And all you Siesta Key fans and AfterBuzzers, we love you. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to tweet us and follow AfterBuzz on all social media platforms. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
See ya.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.